Hi, I'm Sin, and I wanted to come out today and answer a question that I get asked all the time. And it's, what exactly do you do? So, I'm always talking about selling products online and helping business clients and things like that. And people really don't understand what that really means. So I thought I would come out really quick and just put together a neat little training to kind of explain it. And then that way, maybe if you're interested, it's in learning all about it, then at least you'll know exactly what I do. And if it's something that you want to explore as well. All right. So the role of an EBM is very unique when you really compare it to an independent online seller. So if you think about it, I'm selling products online, right? So first, let me clarify what an EBM is, and that is an e-commerce business manager. Now, the role of an EBM is to support other businesses by managing their entire e-commerce platform and all the other duties that may be associated with that, right? So there are businesses out there that have a product, but they don't either have the knowledge or they don't have the time to learn or don't want to be involved in the day-to-day activity of the e-commerce part of selling the actual products online. So think about it. They may be very busy in their current business making the product or managing their other day-to-day activities, and they don't have time to jump in and start handling something that they've never even experienced before. So, the learning curve to an e-commerce platform can be pretty challenging and it takes a lot of time and effort. So that's why businesses are too busy usually to jump in and learn e-commerce because they're already too busy managing everything else that they do. So as an EBM, e-commerce business manager, I am able to decide what services that I want to offer my potential clients. Now, initially, a client's e-commerce business obviously has to be set up on the e-commerce platform. So a lot of conversation goes into before you ever even get started listing the product. A lot of conversation goes into meeting with the client and determining what their best options are and which platforms would suit them best, right? Not every product is suited for Amazon. Not every product is suited for a Shopify store. So it really just depends on the business and their goals and which platform suits them best. So in addition to that, and once you determine which platform you want to get set up on or you want to set them up on, then you've got to write all the copywriting. You've got to write the titles. You've got to write the bullet points. You've got to determine what the price points are. And they already know the majority of this information. You have to compile it, put it together, and put it in such a format that it's professional. It will be stuffed with keywords. And when I say stuffed, I mean you want to strategically place these search terms that a customer that would be buying this product, you want to strategically place them in the heading or in the titles or in the bullet points or in the description, or maybe even in the back end on the SEO part, search engine optimization section, because that's how the product online will be matched to the search query when a customer goes in looking for that type of a product, right? So that's how behind the scenes it works with marrying up what they're searching for to your product that you're listing for your clients showing up in the results. So all of that is kind of work on the front end that really needs to be taken. Now, what I normally do as an e-com business manager, when I'm first bringing a client on board, we start with their very number one top selling product. And that way it's already selling somewhere. So it's pretty much a guarantee that it would sell elsewhere. That's my famous saying. If it sells somewhere, it'll sell elsewhere. It's because, again, it's all about that, the way you set it up, the search terms, and making it look professional in such a way that you're enticing your customers to buy. So once all the setup is done, Then there will be other duties that you will perform for your client. So the setup is like the foundation. You've set the foundation for the business, but then comes the daily management. And again, as an EBM, I choose which service offerings I want to provide to my clients. So I put together a list of things that I do. And certainly you can add to the list if you want it to be an EBM, or you can deduct from the list whatever you want to offer and whatever you feel comfortable with. Then you have your own choice. You can make those choices and you can negotiate that with your business client. So let's review the most common duties and things that I do on a daily basis to perform as an EBM. The first thing that I do every single morning is to access the e-commerce platform itself. Now, this could be Amazon, it could be Shopify, it could be both, it could be WooCommerce, it could be multiple different platforms, right? It could be eBay, it could be Etsy, whatever platform you sell on for your client, that's where you're going to want to check. And I usually do that very first thing every single morning. Most of these platforms have a requirement that you have to respond back if a client or if there's an issue with the platform itself, or if there is a problem with a customer. You are only given a certain window of time to reply. So that's within at least 24 hours, or you will get a strike against the account and possibly cause the account to get shut down. So the dedication to checking these e-commerce platforms are very, very important, and they have to usually be done multiple times a day. So you make sure that you do not miss that 24-hour window, and that you do respond, do anything and handle things accordingly. So that is some time commitment. And but it depends on what your client is and what the product that they're selling as to how much time that would take. Now, I also handle any administrative duties with the site. So any kind of alerts, any kind of warnings, I always check too, whether they've alerted me or not. I go in and look at reports. I make sure everything is running smoothly. If I see anything that's major, that's a concern, like, why did this drop off? There's a red flag, so you learn to recognize red flags, and then you start investigating, because you want to make sure that the site is performing at its optimum best, because if it isn't, then you're not going to be making sales. Your client's not going to be happy. So you have to work to find out, what the problem is, so you can resolve that. Because again, as an EBM, you get rewarded by commissions that you're earning on these sales. So you have to make sure that you're doing a good job and you're putting forth the effort and the commitment to service your client appropriately, right? Now, you also want to check inventory levels. You want to go through and see if any of the inventory or the stock needs replenishing. Now, depending on your particular client that you're servicing, either you're shipping in the products up front as FBA, fulfilled by Amazon, or your client may be shipping them themselves, shipping the product, fulfilling the orders directly themselves. That's called FBM, fulfilled by merchant. Now, as an EBM, you may even volunteer for some of that work too. It just depends on what you want to do and what type of service offerings you want to offer to your own clients, right? So, but update the inventory. Even though I don't physically ship products for either of my clients, I do go in, check, monitor the inventory levels. I check to make sure that the listings are active. I check to make sure everything it's still running appropriately and that there are no red flags, right? Now, you also want to review your listings from time to time too, and check for updates. You really need to check your keyword indexing to make sure those same keywords that you put in originally in the listing are still indexing, that they're still working properly as you set them up to work in that manner. So what if a product changes over time and the keywords that you set up originally are now not the same keywords that will trigger that result from a customer search? That means the keywords are not affected. So you can actually check keywords, and if it's not working properly, you need to go in and adjust the listings and make sure that they are now indexing for the proper keywords that they should be. So that's some activities that you can do. You can also look at the pictures, make recommendations. Every platform has different recommendations for the pictures of the products that need to be sold. This is not only having a plain white, stark white background for Amazon, it's going to be different size requirements and different, the size of the file type is what I'm talking about. Is every single platform has a different size requirement. So you technically is not, it's not an automatic that you can just take the very same picture and you know, bing, bang, boom, and put them into 5 different places. They usually have to be optimized for that particular site. So that's some effort on the back end. That you have to think about too as you're managing this process for your client. Again, check for the buy box. Make sure the buy box is active and that your products are being listed in such a way that, again, they will show up in the results when a client or a customer goes in and searches for these products. Now, the other thing that I do is I manage PPC ads, and what PPC is pay per click advertising. I do that on Amazon. That means that I set up the ad accounts. I go in and look at the keywords and the search terms that customers are using to find the product. And then you have to adjust your bidding. You have to make sure that the keywords that you set up to be paid, that every time a customer clicks or types in that keyword, and if that's depending on the type of ad set that you have set up for your products, then this is being charged to your clients. So you have to make sure that it's effective and they're getting the best bang for their buck, because you don't want them spending all this unnecessary money on advertising if it's not producing results, right? So that's something that you need to monitor and make sure that that is always up to date. You might even need to plug in some negative key ads. So you have to run these reports and analyze them. And if you see a certain keyword or a search term that a customer is clicking on that is not resulting in an ad, or a sale, I should say, then you can actually go in and pull out that search term and put it into your PPC ad campaign as a negative keyword. And that way, anyone that types in those words again, your product won't show up because you don't want it to show up. So there are little tricks of the trade that you need to learn as well, just on managing PPC advertising to make sure that your client's money is being well spent and generating the most sales possible. Now, the other thing that I do is I monitor the orders. I look for cancellations, look at the shipping dates. Let's say if we have a certain amount of time between the time when a customer places an order to the time there's a deadline of when we need to ship it by. I need to always keep an eye on that. And if it's getting pushed out and we're getting close to missing a deadline, that's a major problem. So that might be a conversation that I need to have with my client to let them know, hey, we need to either adjust the shipping time frame, or either we need to speed up from the time from when a customer places an order to the time that we ship. So something needs to be adjusted in order to make sure we don't get in trouble by the e-commerce platform, and make sure that we are servicing our customers appropriately and getting their orders shipped as quickly as possible. So it's just a good conversation to have to make them aware. Remember, your client doesn't know anything about these e-commerce platforms. So that's where we come in, or I come in as an e-com business manager. I am aware of these issues and these details, and sometimes they may be kind of picky little things, but they're not aware. So it's up to me and my duty to go and bring this to the client so we can have a discussion about it, whatever the situation may be, not necessarily shipping. All right. Now, also refunds and returns. A lot of times certain sites, depending on the e-commerce platform site, I might have to go in, if a customer requests a return or a refund, I have to go in and physically authorize it. Then I have to physically send them shipping labels or things like that for them to be able to return it. Let's say once the product is returned, then I have to physically go in and give them credit for it. So it's like administrative duties that I have to go in and monitor and make sure all of that is taken care of, make sure notes are added so we know why it was returned. It could be something that we're seeing the same problem over and over and over. Just had this situation happen a week or so ago with one of my clients, and I alerted them, hey, are you aware that this is happening? I think we might need to change the way we package this in such a way, and I gave a suggestion. And in order for this to not be incurring damage, upon delivery or during transit, which was what was happening. And they're like, oh gosh, I wasn't even aware that was happening. So by making the suggestion, they made the change, and now that will totally take care of that customer issue that we were having, which was creating a lot of frustration from the customer perspective, causing us to get negative reviews, when it was a simple thing that I brought to the client's attention. Let's make sure, what can we do to make this situation better? Here's a suggestion I have, you might have a different one. And they were so appreciative of making the suggestion, because now it makes our customers much happier, and it saves them time and money from reshipping all this damaged product and having to give free replacements all the time, and the extra shipping costs to get these free replacements to the customer. So, you really, as an EBM, you want to think about, if this were my business, what would I do, and how would I service my client? How would I want to be serviced? We need to be looking out for the client and giving them the best opportunity to grow and expand their business as possible. So that's why you always want to be on the lookout and thinking outside the box and analyzing everything that you see and do, to make sure that if anything can be done better, that we can do that or make recommendations to them. And then the business owner chooses how they want to proceed. All right. Now, I also respond to customer messages that are actually through the platform. Every single e-commerce platform has an opportunity for for customers that are purchasing the products to send messages to the business or to the seller. So I handle all of that for my business client. I manage all of that. Sometimes it's just simple Q&A. Sometimes it's the return. Sometimes it's a refund. Sometimes it's tracking information, lost shipments. It could be anything, but I handle all of that for the client. Now, speaking of messages, I also handle all of the email for my clients as well. Now, this is through an outside email address, whether it's a Gmail address or they have a specific business email. I handle all the emails for my clients. This allows them to be hands-free and just operate their business and do their daily duties of what they need to be doing. And I'm really handling all the customer service on the separate email accounts, right? So again, that could be questions. It could be same things I already mentioned. Questions, concerns, I don't understand, help me understand, give me a call, I need help ordering online. I mean, it's questions, it could be anything. But the more questions come, the more skilled you are at answering those questions, and opportunities to help customers, because the more responsive and the faster you respond to these issues or the questions that the customers will have, the better customer service you're providing for the client, for the business client, and the more apt those customers are going to be to purchase from you, purchase from your client. When I say you, I'm meaning because I'm representing the company. And it is providing just an overall wonderful experience from the customer perspective, and that's who they want to deal with. You wouldn't believe the messages that I get all the time is that they say, thank you so much, because you were so fast and you helped me so much, and I just so much appreciate that. I'm definitely going to tell all my friends, or I'm definitely going to buy from you again, or whatever, like that. So I do go the extra mile when it comes to customer service. Just be nice to people, and it really makes a difference on the image that you are portraying on behalf of your client that you're representing. Now, Also, monitor the order fulfillment process. Now, me particularly, I don't handle the fulfillment itself. I don't actually ship the products, but I do monitor the programs that we use for fulfillment. It could be address changes. It could be, like I said, if I need to create a return label or create an additional order for replacement. So I do still manage those programs, even though I don't actually fulfill the products and print the labels myself. All right, because there are still things that need to be done, and that's after it's all set up. Originally, again, it's that foundation. It has to be all set up for the client. Then you manage it and monitor it accordingly. Let's see. Now, the other things that I do is I handle their social media. So if this is their Facebook, or if they have Instagram, they have YouTube channels, so I will upload videos or post content. I encourage other people and share information to get more people to like the business page. I may create a contest. I encourage customers to send in pictures. So any kind of engagement that I can create or think up to do just to help promote that business page to get more exposure. On each business page that I set up for my clients, we have a shop now button, and that allows, if a customer is searching you out and they're looking for this particular product, they can come to the Facebook page. They can see what's been posted. They can watch videos. They can look at customer reviews, and then they can see there's a big shop now button on there where that goes straight to the e-commerce platform that I'm also taking care of. They can also send messages through Facebook. I also set up for my clients, there is a way you can set up an automated response system to where I think you're given an opportunity for 4 different questions. So I take the most often asked questions and I go ahead and pre-fill in the answer. And that way customers coming to the page can get an instant answer by clicking on one of the first 4 predetermined questions out there. And then if those are not the questions that they ask, they certainly can send us a private message. So I also monitor all of those and make sure I get back in touch with customers and follow up accordingly. All right, now let's see, what else do I do? YouTube, yes, post any new content that comes up that the client has, any new ads maybe that they have running, Facebook ads or Google ads, then we actually can post. Those are sometimes short little video clips. We actually post, or I actually post those for them again on Facebook, or upload those into YouTube to make sure that everything that we have, all of our media is available on every platform. So any customer looking to learn more about the product or the company has tons of material that they can review so they can make a good informed decision. Again, I invite people to like, to follow, to share on all of these different sites, create posts to encourage that engagement. Let's see, site management also. So sometimes things need to be changed or updated. Like right now, we just changed one of the products for one of my clients. So I've got to go in and change a bit of information on every single video that they have posted, because to make it up to date and current. So that's like behind the scenes site management that needs to be taken care of. Also, each site might have alerts and warnings or different things that you are working directly with through the admin backend portion of these social media sites. So if anything like that comes up, I handle it because I want to provide this service to my clients that's a hands-free business on a platter. I'm doing it for you. I'm handling it all for you. I don't want you to worry about anything. I don't want you to have to get involved in anything unless it's necessary. That's my role, is to take care of as much as possible without involving the client so they can be doing what they do best, which is running their business in other areas. All right. Now, there are other offerings or service offerings you can offer your clients, and that could be, I do a little bit of this, it's graphics creation. So if I'm doing something that's maybe talking about a certain subject, I might create a graphic just to post it on Facebook, or all kinds of different things like that. Maybe we're creating a certain sale flyer or things like that I might create. So So any kind of graphics creation like that could be an option. Creating operating procedures or creating a instruction manual, an FAQ list, all kinds of things like that are different duties that I do behind the scenes as a support role for my client. And remember, the overall premise of this whole thing is so this business runs as smoothly as possible. It's the most informative as possible. We want the customer to have the best experience possible, because not only are they getting a good quality product, but they want to view our business as supportive, responsive, and really just a good overall, 5-star customer service event. And Google My Business, that's another one, as I'm thinking about 5-star reviews. So every review that we receive, I go in and I personally respond to each of those as the business to represent them. And it's just a wonderful opportunity to interact with the customers and thank them for being a valued patron to the business. And it really goes the extra mile in helping clients or customers see just how intent we are on making sure that every customer has a 5-star experience when they buy a product from us or interact with us, right? Now, all telephone communication, I handle all of that. So I'm totally okay with putting my own personal telephone number for my clients, and all of the customer calls that come in, I manage those. So I wouldn't necessarily, I guess I am on call 24/7, but I really don't have a problem with people calling in the middle of the night. Luckily, most people are intent and very comfortable using the contact us feature through the website, or sending us a message through their order, or sending us a Facebook message. So those are things where, you don't have to be bothered in the middle of the night. You can certainly cut off your ringer if you don't want to be bothered. I will say I've never been bothered in the middle of the night while I'm sleeping to answer a customer question. So, but I am totally okay with supporting my clients and answering the phone call whenever I'm up and available. I will answer, because I, again, want to go the extra mile and provide the service for my clients, because I want these customers to feel like they are being taken care of. And that's going to generate more sales. That's going to help the business client. It's also going to help me with extra sales that I'm managing, because I do earn commission on every product that's sold. All right. Now, every client, I want to say, is different. So their procedures are different, their structure is different, the products that they sell are obviously different, their mentality is different. So, and just the way they may approach business is different. It may be a completely different setup. They may source from, I'm just making it up, out of the country or from another state, or one client may actually make every piece of their own product. So it could be any combination of any of that, of the potential clients that you would serve, right? So that's why I say every client's going to be different, and the structure is going to be different. So all I do is I just meet with them and say, hey, how can we partner together? How can I help you? I want to be able to provide this service for you. Again, as a hands-off experience, I manage it all for you. You've already got your product worked out. You already have your business. Let me take this part and I'll take it and run with it and do my very best to make sure you're successful so you can get more sales. And when the more successful I can make the client, the more successful I am. I cannot stress that enough. So I want to make sure that I alleviate all the stress off of the business owner. I want them to feel confident in my services and my skill sets and my expertise of being able to sell their products online, because it just builds such a better partnership between myself and the clients that I serve. So it's a wonderful opportunity to work together. And as a business client, they need the help. They're already busy. They're already maxed out. They don't want to take on this business of e-commerce. They don't want to learn this. It's kind of overbearing sometimes to learn all this whole process. Now that I learn it and I deal with it every single day, and in many different facets, obviously it's easier for me than someone that doesn't know how. So that's where I get to utilize my skill sets and support my clients. And again, my payment is I negotiate a percentage commission on every sale. So I'm very well rewarded for my efforts. And because it's a trade-off, the more sales that I generate and work with and performing all these duties behind the scenes, that it's easy to make it a good transition of a commission off of each sale. That way, what I'm being paid is equal to the amount of work that goes into the business, right? So if we only had 5 sales a month, I obviously wouldn't be doing that much work. I wouldn't be paid very much. Where if we had tons of sales and I'm doing tons of work on every aspect that I've mentioned to you, all these duties that we've already gone through, then obviously my pay is is higher because of, additional increased orders. So that's a great way to structure it because it's fair that way, honestly. If you were paid a flat fee every month, then there will be times you might be sitting there doing nothing and getting paid, which is not fair to the client. But there will be also other times you are being slammed and working all this overtime, doing all these duties and just being so overworked you can't even get it done, but you're still making the same thing you were making last month when you weren't doing half that work. So it's really a fair way for not only your business client, but for yourself to be compensated as well. So it's really a win-win situation, and it works out great between you and your clients, and it's just a wonderful opportunity by being an e-com business manager for other businesses that need your help and your services. Now, typically, as far as the hours go, you can set your own hours. I try to model my hours along with the hours of the actual business. Now, luckily I'm in the same time zone, and I don't, it's not something that's very difficult. However, our customers are not in the same time zone. We have customers all over the US and even outside the US. So I do have to make myself available at odd hours beyond a typical normal business day, so I can be available to those clients, those customers, those customers that would be calling when they're home from work or on their lunch break, or, early in the morning before they go to work, whatever. So I do have to make myself available in off hours, and even weekends. I do work weekends just to make sure that my clients are supported. And again, I do that. That's my expectation of myself and the role that I play for my clients, right? Now, if you are interested in learning all about how to become an e-commerce business manager and getting clients of your own, well, it's a very easy process. All you have to do is go to my website, cynmeadows.com. That's CYN Meadows.com. And there is a big button you can click on there that says Get Started. And I actually have a free 5-day workshop coming up very soon called E-commerce Business Secrets. And this was where we go through all the details and tell you secret tips and tricks of the trade to learn how to become an e-com business manager, and how you can start your own business and maybe even quit your regular job, become your own boss, work from home, and start your own business by helping other businesses that need your help, right? So it's a wonderful opportunity. I am so thrilled. I'm going now into my 3rd year in this role, and it's been a wonderful opportunity. My clients have been thrilled so far with my services that I offer. I know my very first client in the very first year, I tripled his business and brought him an additional $1 million in sales. In the very first year, I managed his business simply by taking his products he was already selling and putting it on Amazon and managing that whole process for him. So there is money to be made in the online space. And if there are businesses out there that are begging for help from people like us, e-commerce business managers, that can take it and run with it and manage it all for them. Okay. So go to my website, cynmeadows.com, click on Get Started, register for the free 5-day workshop, E-commerce Business Secrets, and I guarantee you will have your mind blown about some details and some facts and the fun and the risk-free way of selling online using this method. Okay, so go get registered. Hope to see you on the inside. Bye-bye.